Okay.
Hey people,
Hey, people.
this is Morgan, not Kelly from Pimp Place. Like, hi
But
guys,
you make fun of me all the time.
welcome back to Cookies.
And Grace.
And today, one of us actually has cookies, so that means that Kelly gonna bring y'all to Christ. All right. So,
I had cookies, but my kids I ate a lot of them, and I wanted to beat them to it, so I ate all the rest of the cookies, all of them.
and I
So
feel like there could possibly be a biblical verse about greed and sharing and lessons, and I feel like today's lesson may be applicable. So
all right,
last week, or not last week, child, last
last
month,
month.
we covered the story of we're in the story of the first people. We're in the story of the beginning of humanity. So we talked about Adam and Eve, and we capped that whole story and that whole saga that whew, it didn't end on a high note, let's be honest. But they did not die as in a death. They died as in away from God and the beautiful Eden that He has created.
You
So
remind me that comment was like, "But did you die?"
yeah, I did because look, painful cramps, childbirth is painful. You gotta scrounge around like we had it all. And now we have nothing. Like it's the opposite of rags to riches. It's riches to rags. So that's basically where we left off, right when Adam and Eve kicked it's Adam and Eve, right when God kicked Adam and Eve out the precious Garden of Eden and made them fit for themselves. So today we're going to cover, as you guys can see, Genesis 4:1 through 5:32. I know originally we had planned to also go through, I think it was 8:22 as well.
Yeah.
But we really don't want to rush this with you guys. We want to take our time and really dig in, have some time for some comments from you all, get good feedback, and have a really in-depth discussion. We don't want to rush it. So as long as y'all rocking with us, we here for y'all. So Kelly's gonna take it away and get us started with the lovely story of two brothers, not the Wayans brothers, but the brothers. What was Adam and Eve's last name?
People.
There's probably just the man, like Adam man, woman man.
Their last name probably
Eve
was
man.
like, I don't know. If I could name them, it'd be Adam Christian, Eve Christian. That's straight to the point. And it foresees the future.
Can
Christ.
well, that's what I was like. Can you be a Christian if Christ wasn't there yet?
Christ been there. He was there in the beginning. Remember
But
us.
Christ, he would have been Lord. I think that he would have named them like man. I feel like man is suitable. You know how back in like
Like
slavery
free man.
they named you what you did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. First question we ask when we get there. Hold on, I got something else to ask Eve though, but we ain't gonna get into that. So I love how this opens up. I was like, oh, so I had to look at. So I'm in my study Bible, but I had to go to a different study Bible because my study Bible just jumped in it. It was like they had sexual relations. I was like, So first it said Cain and Abel, and it says sexual relations. So I know that they came from, this nice intimate occurrence.
Time
But
out. Because when
what?
you say you jump in there like that, it's literally like God kicked us out. What you trying to do?
I mean, that's exactly where I was going.
Let's get it in.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So when I looked in another Bible, I had my ESV Bible. So that Bible says Adam knew his wife, and I was like, oh, he been knew her, but it's not knew her as in like he got to know her that day. He really took a real good look at her that time. It's more like it's like a intimate knowing. Like basically, they had intimate relations. They had sex. But I like the term. Like the term knowing is more powerful. It's not like today. Like without being too extra, name me one thing. Name me one word that describes sex nowadays. Instead of saying, "Oh, we got to know each other," what do people say?
What do
When
people
they
say, or what can people say?
do, can, whatever. It ain't. we were getting to know each other. He knew his wife. I know the one that come to my head. It's to me, it's very harsh, but go ahead. Not
Yeah, I can think of quite a few. And people are very crude. Like, I think that
the worst one to me is smash. Like, that sounds harsh. Like,
they smash. Because when I smash, you know how they have smash cakes for kids? Smash. When they say, oh, he beat that drink.
Yeah, that's probably worse.
Oh, I hit it.
That's worse. So I mean, but I didn't want to get into too many. But yeah, you see how just from that one, smash, beat, all of that is like it's not a nice, comforting type word. It's not as passionate and as powerful as he knew his wife. Like, he got to like know her. Not know, like it's beautiful. So basically they had sexual relations.
So and I like, because I read the notes at the bottom. I like the way that they explained it, the act, just talking about knowledge of them just on a social, physical, and spiritual realm. So it's not just, oh yeah, I know him. It's I know them. Now my question is, how much time has passed? And you know how now you court and you get to know somebody. Some people feel like they know someone in like 3 months or 2 weeks and they married and blah, blah. And the other people like, nah, I don't know you. We're gonna slow walk this thing like 10 years. Oh yeah, I think I know you now. Now we can get married. So for Adam to say, I know her, did you know her when she was eating that fruit? Because if you already knew her, why you leave her alone? That's my question.
No, so I feel like we talked about that. He was in close range, honestly, to me. He was right there, but he still let shenanigans go down. But I mean, I did take it as like, wow, it's like he's like a committed relationship. He knew her. And I thought that was like, I thought it was nice. I mean, you know how like we're just trying to dissect a lot about what's going on. So I thought that was neat that one Bible was saying they had sex and it just goes right into, and then she got pregnant. And then another Bible was like, he got to know his wife. He knew his wife, like to know her. So I just thought that was really interesting that different versions of the Bible really come at it from a different point of view. And you yourself can determine whether or not it's the same weight, or one version is like, wow, and the other version was like, all right, yeah, that happened. But I was thinking about like, is this their first time? Like, did they have sex before this, or this was like the first initial? And it got me thinking about how stuff happens in a movie. It'd be like the end of the world and people like, oh, let's go into that random shack over there and get to know each other because the world about to end. Or we just saved the world. We should celebrate and get to know each other. So sometimes tragedy and bad things that happen kind of bring people closer together and make this setting that makes it a more intimate situation for them. So I can't say that this was the first time they had sex, but it's the first time that it was spoken about.
Why are you telling me, Jesus Christ, your phone ring? Like, it don't ever feel.
It wouldn't be me if it didn't go down like this. Sorry about that.
Red cup, that's just a cranberry juice. No worries.
Okay.
But I would say that it's not their first time, because I think that's why Adam was so mystified. Like, he was just in like a glow, like an afterglow, while Eve was talking to the serpent. He was just basking in the ambiance of their intimacy, and that's why he wasn't able to interject that situation.
So he was mesmerized.
Because check this out.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I've looked at myself. I mean,
under the bus. Your husband threw you under the bus. Y'all lost your house, and then he like, you trying to do something? No. You be building me a hut. Like,
you better get to work. Well, obviously she felt like it was worth it. So maybe they had done something before, because ain't no way in the world you about to convince me to do that after we out here. in the wilderness. But yeah, so let's not take too much time on that. They did it and it was beautiful, and they ended up having a beautiful baby boy. It is the first child of the Bible. His name is Cain. Wonderful young man. Things go down later.
But you see, the baby, when Cain was born, it said the Lord produced a man.
I know, a man child.
A male, like a male. But when I kind of read into it, when it said the Lord, with the Lord's help, I produced a man, like just the psychological. Sometimes we put these expectations of, oh, this is gonna be a man. He's gonna assume these responsibilities. The baby was just born. Now you want me to be this man, and you want me to do all these things, but I'm just a baby.
I mean, it could be like the foreseeing of how great he was supposed to be, you know, knowing that he was going to grow into this wonderful person. He's the only one that kind of went cradle to grave. Everybody else, I mean, we're assuming we're just, you know, adults when God made them. So, I mean, I think it was a significant thing, but I think it was just foreseeing that he was going to be a man. So like, I think man, like male child, but it could be, I mean, you see how he's about to crack under pressure if that was the case.
But I mean, like, oh, I gave birth to his brother.
Yeah, and then he had a brother named Abel. So not that it wasn't a big of deal when he was born, but I have multiple children. It does. You seen the first baby shower? It looked like woo, and then the next baby shower was like. So I mean, it could have been like that, but it sounds like. It'd be weird if it was like that, because you would think that Cain would get all of this attention and he would be happy. But we see later on that Cain kind of has his downfalls. So so we acknowledge that there's a gift. This is the first, like, this is a gift of child. So they grow up. Abel becomes a shepherd. He's the first shepherd. Cain becomes like a farmer, first farmer. So these are the people that now you get to see what God was talking about when he said like they were going to have to work for everything they wanted. Now they got jobs. Before they were kind of relaxing, taking care of the animals, just enjoying eating. Now they're working, and these are the jobs that they ended up having. But it kind of, you know, that set in motion everything that God had said before then. So harvest comes. And at harvest, Cain brought, you know, some crops, and Adam brought his best gift is what they say. It's just like Cain brought some crops and Adam brought his best gift, you know, firstborn lamb. God accepted Abel's gift, but not Cain. And so then Cain started hating on Abel. Cain was feeling some kind of way. And the Bible doesn't really go into why God rejected Cain's gift, but we can assume like it's like his attitude, or maybe his heart really wasn't in it. Like we got to check our motives when we're doing something, especially when we're giving, like especially and when we go to give tithes or we go to give a gift to someone else. It's like, are we doing it to receive something? Are we doing it because we feel obligated? Are we doing it reluctantly? Like, what is our heart behind it? And of course, God knows your heart. He knows what's going on in your head. So God checked them and was like, you know, you need to chill with that, because sin gonna creep in. Like, you need to master how you feel, because and it's going to be a lifelong battle of sin. So you need to, you know, control those feelings. I know you feeling some kind of way. I can feel the heat coming off you, and that's why I'm not going to accept your gift. But it's a ripple effect of sin, because of course sin came in with the whole Adam and Eve and the snake and all the other stuff. Shortly thereafter, tragedy happens. So we have the first murder. So Cain kind of lured Abel into the field. I know that Abel was there and he saw God reject Cain's gift, and Cain feeling some kind of way and side-eyeing him. I'm not saying I don't have any siblings. You're probably the closest thing. If me and you were up for a promotion and I got it and you start feeling some kind of way, then you say, hey, Kelly, let's go take a walk. No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to go on no walk. So he took him into like the field, or is it the field? Yeah, into the fields, and he ended up killing his brother. And I was just thinking like discernment should have like kicked in and, you know, helped him in some kind of way, but that's not what happened. So I was really, really shocked when you read the next part in which the Lord asked Cain, like, hey, where's your brother Abel? And Cain's response is famous, especially if you saw New Jack City. So it's famous. And he says, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? And I, you can read tone in books. And to me, his tone was out the side of his neck. Like, to me, he sounded like he was trying to get smart with God. Like, am I? Yes, you are your brother's keeper. You're his brother. So, and you know exactly what you did. So I don't know why at that point God didn't, do something about that part. I mean, but something does come later. So Abel's gone. Cain's trying to deny the fact that anything ever happened. Like, he ain't had no brother named Abel at all. Um, but God asked that question, but I want us to make sure we understand that it's not like God didn't know. He was trying to give Cain a chance to repent for his sin. But he didn't. So then God gets mad. He ends up cursing Cain. So he's telling him no crops gonna grow, no matter how hard he worked, and he gonna be homeless and walking around the earth. So Cain, like anybody else in anything you ever seen or read, when the bad guy gets caught or he gets hurt, he's pleading for himself. So he's crying about how his punishment is too much to bear. So you would think at this point he's like, oh no, I'm sorry. But no, he didn't say I'm sorry. He's like, that's too much. Like, I don't think that's fair, this, that, and other. So he was worried about somebody possibly hurting him because now he got to walk around. And God was like, no, nobody's going to mess with you because I'm going to put this mark on you. So I want to stop at a point and then go back to that. So I was confused because Cain said, I don't want anybody to find me and kill me. Who are you talking about? So I was like, you're not talking about your mom and your dad, because that's all that's left. But if you read deeper, like later on, you see that Adam and Eve have other children. And I guess it doesn't set the time frame for when these children come about. So basically, his brothers and sisters are out there and can possibly hurt him if they see him. But then God puts this mark on him that's basically like, nah, nobody gonna touch you because I need you to live out this sentence. If anybody touch you, they're gonna get far worse than what you got, and everybody's just gonna know about this mark. They don't really know, they don't really say what the mark is. I'm just gonna say it's a question mark on his forehead. So he got a question mark on his forehead and he walking around the earth. And I thought that this was real interesting. So let's lay out Cain. So he got a question mark on his forehead. Everybody know not to mess with him. They know he did something wrong. He is homeless, wandering around the earth, and he can't work. He can't grow no food, but he still bagged a girl. He still end up having a wife and he end up having a son. So I thought that was interesting. Like, if anything, all the bad that went down, it can still give hope to those who feel like I've done the worst thing. I can't get through all of this. Cain ended up having a wife and kid, if that is the goal that you want in life. So if he can do it, I believe other people, if that's in the cost for them, they can do it. Because there was no way. I was like, what was she thinking? She see him with the question mark on his forehead. He homeless. He got rags. And he can't work. But she married him anyway. And they have a son named Enoch. So side note, Seth also has a son named Enoch. And Seth is the next son that they speak about. Because again, I feel like they had other children. Adam and Eve had other children, but they just didn't highlight them. But the Bible highlights Seth. And so Seth has a son named Enoch as well. So I feel like Cain's story is a great example of how we need to check ourselves. Like, we get wrapped up in our feelings, and we sometimes react to them. So I wanted to say that it's okay to be angry. There's scripture that says, like, anger is a feeling. It's legit feeling. You're okay to be angry. It's what you do with that emotion. So if you're angry and you're in an emotion and then you act on it, and out of that act, it can be sinful. So you have to channel that anger. Your anger can be used for good. So you can be angry, and then I've seen people be angry and then they're like, I gotta work out. So they go and they working out. That's a good thing. You're like, you running, you working out, you swimming, whatever the case may be. You go sing a song. There's other ways to get out of that emotion, but that emotion is not wrong. Like, you can't see somebody mad and be like, that's a sin. It's more like they mad and they, you know, kick somebody or something like that, that's when it becomes a sin, when you act on it. So I think, like, for me, that wraps up how I felt in the situation. If we go through the lineage real quick, let's see, we got.
I got a whole bunch of stuff to say.
Oh, I mean, I was almost done. I'm almost done. I'm about to go through the lineage. So we got Enoch.
Why you
Methuselah.
Huh? Out?
Huh?
I said, what you rushing for? We still got like another hour.
Go ahead, Morgan. What Morgan think? I only had 2 more words to say. I was getting to Noah.
Why are you getting to Noah?
Because that's just a part of wrapping up my end of my story.
Go ahead. 32. Go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. So Enoch father Methuselah father Lamech had Noah. Boom. That's all. That's how we got to Noah. Noah comes from Adam. I mean, we all do, but I'm just saying, like, that's how you draw the conclusion to how he got there. Some people think like it might be this big long stretch. It was just a couple generations, and then boom, Noah.
Generations back then was 900 years apart, so don't just make it seem like it was 50.
Yeah, it was a couple decades. It was a couple decades.
More than a couple decades.
I think, yeah, people was dying like at 900 and something, 700 and something. But he made it. But go ahead. So what part of this Cain and Abel do you agree with my interpretation? Do you have anything to add to it? Like, what happened when Morgan read it?
So when I read this, and I mean everybody's heard this story before, but as I was reading, I wanted to first go into when God did not accept Cain's gift, like, he was like, why you mad? Why wouldn't I be mad? Like, to me.
But if you knew you ain't give your best.
But it's not so when is the requirement to like give your best? As far as he knew, I'm just supposed to present God with anything. And maybe he didn't have the concept of what I was supposed to give. We don't know what his understanding was, or maybe his heart wasn't it. Because again, they didn't say why God rejected it. But to me, and depending on how old they are, even grown, because grown men have egos as well. So if I'm presenting anything to God, to mankind, to a man, if I'm presenting something to a human and they basically reject what I'm giving them, which a lot of people say a rejection of my offering is a rejection of me. So imagine being rejected by God. It's like being rejected by your birth father times the children. Like, of course he's going to be upset. Of course that is like very painful. And unfortunately for Cain, he didn't know how to process those type of emotions, and he kind of just like internalized it. But I didn't understand why it was even questioned why he was upset. I felt bad for him. I'm like, I honestly did feel bad, even though I know he turned out to be the bad guy in the situation.
The first murderer. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I understand that point of view. I can get that.
Yeah, like to be rejected.
We always see him as this villain, but not really. It's kind of like how you go back and see Maleficent. You be like, oh, I learned her story now. I understand how she got to who she is. I mean, but we're assuming that because of that, he got angry and then he did what he did. But the way I read it was like he was already foul, and then he came to the table with more foulness, and then he did something crazy and hurt his brother.
Here's where I disagree with that, because he may have already had those seeds. I mean, all of us have, any one of us can murder. We all have it in us. We all have the capacity to do wrong. That's what free will is. So he gives his offering. No, he might not have gave his best, but boom, you're rejected. Rejection is it's a real thing. People internalize it. Then God says you will be accepted if you do what is right. Not your offering will be accepted. You will be accepted. So now you're telling me, not only do you not accept my offering, you're not accepting me. I feel like that's adding more salt to the wound, because now you've confirmed that you aren't accepting me. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You made my family work. I'm out here farming. I don't know
So
nothing
you
about
feel like if God had not coddled him, but gave him a little bit more of a,
yeah.
you can do it, Kane, type
I
of
feel
thing,
like
then maybe, because I mean, as a mom, I can see where you're going because I have multiples. So when you
yeah.
have multiple children, you kind of can cater to them, especially knowing the capacity. I know one child, if you do something or say something mean to them, it messes up their whole day. Versus another child, you give them criticism and they're like, "Oh, I'm a do better because you said that I could, or that you said that I couldn't." Like they thrive off of it, and they do better. Where another child, it shuts them down. They like, I don't even want to try. It's just, the day is over for me. So yeah, as a parent, you know that, and you approach each child different. That's why punishment can't be equal, because it doesn't affect all children the same way. So I understand that, and I think that's something that parents definitely should take into consideration when they are handing out those punishments. But I mean, just knowing that this is God, I can assume that there is definitely more to it. We just don't know a lot about it. So we're giving it, not giving God the benefit of the doubt, but giving the situation the benefit of the doubt. It's so that we can wrap our mind around it. Because again, God got his own way of thinking. And I mean, you would also, now that I say that, you would think that knowing how Lucifer turns out, that you would have saw him and been like, not today. And took him out and was like, I don't got time for that. I already know what you're gonna become. Because I was like, well, maybe God knew what Cain was gonna do, and so he just got mad off the jump. But I think it's really trying to teach, the story's trying to teach us that if something is required of you, then you put your best foot forward and you do your best. Like, don't try to, take shortcuts and cut corners and things like that. You end up messing yourself up. And if there's an opportunity for you to correct something, because he could have took that warning as a way to correct, you know what? Yeah, that wasn't the best crop. I was saving a big watermelon for myself, about his party. I really didn't feel, I mean, you don't eat God. I didn't feel the need to give you the watermelon. Like, he could have been just thinking like of himself, and that's selfish. And maybe, I mean, again, we don't know nothing, but I think that's a really good perspective. And I can't say I didn't think like that, but I just went in assuming that he must have did something terrible.
Like, that's what I guess I try to look at it from. Well, like, what would cause or kind of domino something like that to happen off of an offering? That's what I was kind of trying to think. Like, who hurt Cain? So,
But that's what I was saying. He was the firstborn, so you would assume that he the one getting all the pats on the back and all this big stuff. So
back to, he was always taught to be a man, so he had all this responsibility. You got to learn how to farm because we need to eat. You got to learn how to do X, Y. You got to take care of brother. You got to do all this stuff. He was born. Boom. You are now a man. You now have all these responsibilities, and on top of that, you need to go give an offering to the God that kicked us out of the place that we once upon a time lived because your mama messed up. I don't know, but I'm just,
your mama messed up.
Because Cain is human. So in me trying to understand his perspective of where he messed up to see how that relates to me, that's how I'm trying to digest the story. So to me, yes, he might have, to me, I feel like he may have had additional pressures that maybe Abel didn't have because he wasn't the firstborn. So, hey, go ahead and shepherd some sheep. You don't have to give birth to the sheep. You make sure the sheep are here. You walk them, you bring them back. You kill your best one. Like, he ain't have to do a whole bunch of, I feel like farming is a hard job. I'm not saying that shit.
I mean, farming is a hard job. I can't say that taking care of sheep ain't hard either, especially if you're trying to keep them from getting eaten by another animal and all this other stuff. You gotta cut their hair. Yeah, and there's something that moves. When you pull up a potato, it comes up. You trying to cut sheep hair and they don't want their hair cut, they moving, they kicking you.
Like, sheep ate my best crops.
Well, but he didn't have the best of heart when he approached God, and that's what we need to do. We need to have the best heart approaching God.
I definitely accept that he didn't put forth his, like, that's the fact. He didn't, because they say Abel gave the best, Cain just gave something.
Yeah.
But then when we go to God saying you will be accepted if you do what's right, if you refuse to do what's right, then watch out. So, like,
I think more of a warning, not more of a threat.
It's a warning, but again, it's a warning saying that your acceptance of me is conditional. You're only going to accept me if I'm giving you the best. As in this particular situation, of course, he's not even talking about the offer. He's talking about do what's right in your heart, be a good person. I see something in you that I need you to check. Of course, that's what God is speaking about. But in interpreting it as man in a particular situation, it's like when you're talking about an overall situation and somebody tries to relate it to one particular situation, it's like, no, like think bigger. So I won't say I don't feel bad. I feel bad. I'm empathetic to Cain. And I don't even know why, but I really am.
I mean, probably because we all got the potential to be Cain. Like we all been pissed off before. We all been mad, and you're not about to do the best. Like even when your mom say sorry to your cousin, sorry. Like you ain't even get that right. So when you in your feelings, no, you're not gonna do the right thing. We just don't know a lot of how we got there. I mean, I think you gave out some good perspectives. Like maybe he was pressured, maybe he had too much on his plate. You know, maybe he just wasn't built for his life, this, that, and the other. You know, a lot was probably going on with him, but killing? You only seen the death of animals thus far with sacrifice. What made you think that you needed to sacrifice your brother and take him out, and that was going to give you a better situation? Like God was going to be like,
because if ain't nobody else
think that through.
Because if ain't nobody else here, what you going to accept now?
Not you.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. But so I just think that it was a culmination of things that kind of led him there. When God said you must subdue it in order to be its master, I think that is sometimes you like, I've been in situations where I felt like I've been so enraged or just so angry that I was going to like implode. Now, granted, I ain't go out here or slay a brother or anything like that, but how many of us can really say that we have mastered all of our emotions? Sometimes, like, people cry. It could be anger, but instead of busting a hole in the wall, that's them trying to master it. But have they really mastered it if they're just expressing it in a different way? Like, I feel like the task of trying to master whatever lies within us, especially when we talk about generational curses, and maybe this is just another result of the sin.
But I don't. Your reaction is not the sin. Your reaction, as in I'm mad and this is how I feel, is more of the action. You can control your actions. Somebody can legit smack you right now, and people be like, "Oh, it was a reflex." You can say that, but if you thought that person that smacked you with a gun in their other hand, you probably would not react because you have thought processes that kick in. So you can trigger those. Like, think about what you're about to do before you do it. And it's definitely easier said than done given different circumstances. Some people, they have no holds bar if you talk about their mom. Some people don't touch my kids. Some people don't touch me. You know, different people have different thresholds on what is going to just set them off. And they be like, I can't control nothing. And I care less about what's going to happen after the fact. That's pretty much where he was going. But to have that warning, it was like, he didn't give that warning to Eve. He didn't give that warning to anybody else. Like, he is trying to stop him or, help him understand how he feels. Like, this was your chance to come to me and talk to me about it. He's a good counselor. You could have talked to him about it and say, you know what? That job, I wasn't even here when it all went down. I don't think I should really have to work. And, I ain't never, Adam and Eve still don't got no jobs. I don't see what the jobs they doing. So they had me. I mean, and you see parents say this. They had me so I could do the work. I had you so you can go, so I can retire early type of thing. So he could be feeling this kind of way. It's a lot of pressure being the first child. It's a lot of pressure being the only child. But God was there with him. Like, that's a luxury. Like, some of us don't get to channel God in a way where we get to have a full conversation with him like that, where you can hear his warnings, and you had that. So I'm sure back then, since it was so common, it was like, yeah, that's God talking, just like the wind blows. So, but he could have took heed a little bit better. Not, oh, I heard you, but watch me now. Like, it's like sin is crouching at your door, eager to control you. Like, you will have no control over it. What you have control over is this moment right now. So why don't you do something about the part you can control? Which, when we think about sin, if we can think about, like, the first one, I don't know why it comes to mind, is fornication, in the sense of, dang, I'm lonely. It's 9 o'clock. I wonder what so and so doing. I'm gonna call them. What you doing? You ain't doing nothing. I'm about to come over there. You got to get in your car. You got to start it. You got to drive over there. You got to open the door. You got to knock on the door. You got to go in. You got to set a mood. Like, yeah, I came over here to watch Netflix. Like, it's all these steps before you get to sin. Sin never is, yeah, they fell on my knife. Like, no, like, it's a lot that goes into sin, and we ignore. You have choices. There's a lot of different choices that go into that. I have yet to see or hear or know about a sin that I've committed that didn't give me choices before I got to, oh, I just sinned part. So I think that's the part where it's say you can control it. You can control it at one of those stages. One of them stages, you could turn the car around. He could have been like, you know what, let's go take a walk with dad, because I don't know. I know I'm feeling some kind of way. I want to walk with you, but maybe dad's presence will help me from, doing whatever. We do that at work. You want to have a conversation, you might want to have a third person in the room because you don't know how you're feeling about that coworker. So I just think that he may not have been able to grasp all of his feelings to keep him out of sin in the beginning, but once God gave him that opportunity, he could have took more advantage of that.
That's true. The other question, I had a question. How did they know that God accepted one and rejected the other? Like,
you mean did God just flip over a table and was like,
yeah, like, was the
get that out of here? Don't nobody like broccoli. He come in with a lamb, you bring broccoli.
It was like the dead animal gone when they came back the next day and the crop's still there. Like, how did they know?
That's how it is in my kids. When we watch Bible stories, when they come back, them vegetables still there. God was like, don't nobody want that broccoli. And so then you can see Cain getting mad.
That's the other thing though. Like, if you like meat, if you got a choice between filet mignon, I'm sorry, and some asparagus.
I mean, personally, I'm gonna take the fillet. I'm gonna take the fillet. I mean, but I can definitely wrap the asparagus around that. But God was more of a one category type of guy. I only want the meat, but it was his heart. He ain't put no love in it. I never forget. And if I could be honest, I know good and well my uncle ain't about to watch this. So one time, my uncle was like, "Can you fix me a piece of cake?" I fixed my cake. I fixed his cake. I looked at the cake slice that I got him, and I was like, "Yeah, he gonna have to take this one because I'm gonna eat this one." And I brought him the cake. He was like, "Don't nobody want no cake like that. It don't got no love in that cake." So basically, it fell all apart. And I was thinking, cake is cake. Once you eat it, it's gone. It don't look good, but it's gonna taste the same as the one that I made over here that looked good. And he didn't want it. He legit did not want my cake because it wasn't no love in it. You didn't fix it with love. It tastes better when you bring it to me and you cared about it when you presented it. So he was like, nah. Plus he bought the cake and he was like, I'm not about to accept it. You're gonna have to do this over. So he gave me a second chance. And God gave Cain a second chance. He was like, look, come to the side. Let me talk to you for a minute. No, I didn't want the asparagus or the broccoli. But if you would have brought me, I don't know, carrots, or if you would have bought me the best of the broccoli, we're not going to go on broccoli because I don't know if it's a real thing. I don't know. I never seen it in its natural state to know where it comes from. But I'm going to research that. It comes from where?
The ground. Come out the ground.
I never seen broccoli grow out the ground, like a stalk, just come up like a baby tree.
No, it comes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I never seen it.
Broccoli and cauliflower are both man-made.
That's what I'm saying. So obviously it wasn't broccoli.
Anyway,
more like peas and carrots and cabbage.
So yeah, I also had a question about well, when Cain when he got his punishment. Well, let me rewind. All right. I don't have no siblings. And I felt like Abel trusted Cain because clearly he was a pure heart. Like that was just him. He had a pure heart from the beginning.
You wouldn't have called me slipping.
If your big brother, like, why would you think your big brother was finna kill you? It was good just yesterday.
Yeah, and killing was not a real thing. Like you only seen it done on animals, and it was only done at a certain time. To this point, I don't know if they even ate meat. It was more just a sacrifice. So I don't even know what he got in his head. If you've never seen something happen, you don't possibly think that somebody would do something like that to you. First bloodshed type situation. So yeah, I know it's not like he was being gullible. I don't think he was being gullible. I just was like, he don't like you like that. Even if he wasn't going to kill you, he might have clipped you up or something. Like, I don't even want that.
They never said.
I just would have been like, Ma, Dad. I would have at least let somebody know. When I was in college and you was unsure, you'd be like, Morgan, I'm about to go out with this guy. His social security number is this. His license plate is that. Like, let somebody know where you're going. And then maybe even somebody else who could have peeped the situation would have been like, I don't know if it's good for you to go out with your brother right now because he kind of heated right now. Give him some time. God just, kind of rejected his offering. I see it in his eyes. So that also goes back to me talking about being a parent. When your kids, like I can tell, when my son is not feeling the best of the situation, and I'll be like, y'all give him some space. Don't even, my daughter I'm gonna go don't ask him nothing. He's not in the best headset right now. Like his mind is not ready for you to come and talk to him. Don't say nothing to him. He needs some time. I'm gonna put this one on Eve. Eve couldn't have been like, I see the tension in the two of you. Let us sit down and talk about some stuff. But then again, God tried and it didn't. I mean, so or he wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Having more children, whatever she was doing, who knows?
Seth was on the way.
So you mentioned being mad annoyed when Cain was like, am I my brother's keeper?
It's the tone. You're not about to come at my God and say, I don't know, am I my brother? Like, say that in a way that does not sound like somebody should do something to you after you say that to them.
All right,
say it in a nice way.
Actually,
Morgan, we're piping.
I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? See, go up high.
No.
No. Abel is the responsible.
I don't care how high tone and pitch you get.
Adam and Eve. No, because if I would have said, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? That's attitude. Me saying, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? Like, I didn't know I was supposed to be looking after him. One is
that's
like
a question that's legit. Some questions you learn to ask to yourself as a kid. Like you legit, when your parents say, hey, where the remote? You want to be like,
he didn't even say it.
You don't say that. You think
it. Am I my brother's guardian? He said, am I my brother's guardian? AKA guardianship belongs to the parents. I'm not his mama. That's what he said. I ain't his mama. I don't know.
That's something you also don't say. You're not about to come at my God and say, I ain't his mother. Like, that's going to get the front too. It's going to be back here. Like, you don't do that. That's not what you say to God. That's not what you say, period. He wouldn't have came at Adam like that. If Adam said, we're Abel. He'd be like, oh, Father, I don't know. I think he was trying God. Like, he just didn't believe. Like, he didn't know God, the one that kicked him out. He know God in a different way than Adam and Eve. I bet you Adam won't come at God sideways no more. So I feel like he was being disrespectful.
Adam did. He got it, honestly. Adam piped up too. It was that woman you gave me. Everybody.
And that's the last time he said that. He should have heard in his heart that his son was about to say something similar to what hold on, son. No. Let me check you. Because I tried that with God before. It don't work. What it gets you is outside of the Garden of Eden. Who knows where else we about to go? Now my man is homeless with a question mark on his forehead, walking around the earth with no food.
I didn't think it as a question mark. I thought of it more like the Scarlet Letter.
I mean, you could have made it as beautiful or as ugly as possible, but either way, he has a mark that everybody can know and see. So
Right.
I say forehead because that's, point blank, period. It's right here. It could have been an exclamation point on his forehead, whatever, a stop sign. But either way, I want to know what his wife was thinking.
Well, before we get to his wife, I thought we have another situation where someone has sinned, and instead of, I guess we have like the first life sentence. Like you murder somebody, you got life curse. Even still in the curse, and I didn't look at it the way that you when you was like, oh well, God cursed him so that nobody else would kill him to make sure that he lived out his sentence, versus the minute he step outside, somebody knock his block off and then it's over anyway. Because I was like, why would God even protect him from the wrath of someone else? I would have made it a mark, me personally. I would have made it what's that noise?
Oh, Maurice cutting the grass.
Oh, it's that loud and echoing.
He like outside. Are you serious?
Like, it was like,
How about now?
No, I don't hear it anymore. I feel like he should have been able to be touched. Like, all right, I'm assuming.
Hold on, you was Team Cain. Now you want the wrath of everybody?
No, like, if we got other siblings, I'm pretty sure everybody liked Abel. So, we ain't gonna kill you, but we finna people's elbow you. Like, we gonna beat you, trip you up. He made it so that they couldn't touch. He's like, can't nobody touch you. Well, so it's literally like having somebody do something to your grandmother and knowing you can't do nothing to them.
I mean, yeah, because that goes into Abel. I mean, Adam and Eve as well. Like, you can't tell me that you hurt one of my kids, even if it was another one of my kids. Like, it's weird. Because when one of my kids messes up and they mess with another kid, that's mine. And I say, that's my child. But I'm talking to them like they not my child. Like, when you hurt my kid, I don't care who you are. You could be the other kid. You on your side. And now I'm talking about me and my child right here. And so I can only assume that they would have felt some kind of way and wanted to do something or say something. Maybe they didn't want to, hurt him or anything, but maybe like, see, where was your head at? Or maybe they felt blessed because they could have been next. So who knows how far this could have went. But I think before I did read it, like, why did he just get blessed with eternal like life, basically, of not being harmed if he did something wrong? Which goes to show you that sometimes there are things worse than death. Like walking around like this, knowing that everybody will know what you did. I mean, it depends. Right. You can take it like with prison terms, like ain't nobody about to mess with me. He could have went and did more harm, knowing that can't nobody do that. I'm just going around shoving people. I'm not hurting them, but I'm shoving them.
Right. Yeah. So that's basically like a teachable moment for me, because like, say you're the family member and you're thinking, oh, he got off scot-free. Like, he ain't got to work no more. He just can wander the land and do whatever. So from an outside perspective, you're thinking he's gotten away with it. Well, in reality, like, he's having like his own like punishment. It's just something that you can't really comprehend because you don't know. Like, that you just know you can't touch him, but you don't know like the suffering and the ongoing that he's going through. And I think that applies to like all of our situations where we feel personally compelled to seek revenge for things that we feel like have been wronged unto us or unto others. And ultimately, revenge is not for us to get. It's for God to dole out the punishments and for us to just accept it and roll with the punches and worry about your own crops. Worry about your own crops. So that was one note I had about that. I also did ask about where did he find his wife, and in doing my research, I realized that Adam and Eve had more children. And while Oh, all the chats are coming in now.
Yeah, I just saw them pop up. So hold on, you want to finish that thought, or let's
What I was saying was that what was I saying? About his wife. And so yes, basically it's hypothesized that either his wife was a sister or a niece. Now, to us, that seems nasty, more so because we just think of incest. But the root of incest being is it outlawed? Illegal is that because it causes birth defects in the gene pool. But because
pure.
back then, the bloodline was pure. They were genetically pure. It was no issue with them marrying and procreating because there were any defects, which I think is interesting and neat. And I didn't look into it, and maybe maybe somebody in the chat knows, in terms of, I thought that there was a Bible verse or scripture that specifically spoke to not betting siblings or incest being not right.
Well, I know that there's one like you're not supposed to marry your brother's wife, or are you supposed to marry your brother's wife? I forget, but I think it is something in there about something written about not having intimate relationships with your close relatives. Like I know, like your father, like was it Ham's daughters? Shem's daughters.
They was just real.
So that right there, that's wrong. That's what you're not do. Like don't do that. But I think that comes later, because by then maybe that's when we can see some defects and stuff. Like you can see some issues.
Yeah, and I wonder, do the defects come as a result of the sin that's brewing in them? It's like a toxin.
And maybe the heart behind the act. Like they were just trying to procreate because they felt like they had a need to do it. That's not necessarily what God called them to do. Sleeping with their father.
One thing you kind of brushed over, because we talked about the lineage, but we didn't talk about the descendants of Cain. So Cain had a son, and his son had a son, and then Lamech was born. Lamech was the first pimp. He had 2 wives. All right, well, it was
not pimp. He was the first polygamist.
All right, he was the first polygamist. I'm gonna say he was a pimp. But
pimp is meaning that you are sorting women out amongst the others for reward. He wasn't doing that. He was loving on too many women. Polygamist.
Okay. We don't know.
We did. I touched Adam's lineage, and I did forget Cain. See, that's why he mad now, because he will be rushing over him.
So, but what I wanted to stop at was that Lamech, because he, besides being a polygamist, he had got into some trouble as well.
Yeah.
He killed. So there was another murder. He killed someone, and he self-declared that if anybody he's like, if anybody who touches Cain is punished 7 times, because that's what God said. Anyone who touches me is punished 77 times. Who gave him that permission? Can he make such a declaration? Did he just draw the same squiggle mark on himself that God put on Cain?
He could have. He was like, okay, stay still. I'm gonna draw this question mark.
Like, how did
I mean, it could have been
himself. How do you this protection? Like, boy,
that ain't from God. Don't get these hands. You out here trying to be like your father, your father's father, whoever, your uncle. So yeah, I guess
that blew me. I was like, who do you think he is? Oh, he's drawn on Mark.
I guess it's a birthright type of situation. I get to see him in it. So the chat is full of more of like, we got some laugh out louds. We're going back to when we were talking about, like, what would we have called it? Jenny said I believe it's like Netflix and chill. That's what Chella is saying, like, Netflix. I think this is one that you had said, of course. So yeah, we have some things, and then Stephanie. Let me put Stephanie's comment is kind of longer. Yeah. So she's talking about the knowledge, the information. She's talking about the intimacy.
Yeah.
And spending time with them and being familiar. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted some people say, oh, I didn't do my thing. I'm gonna do it anyway. So we gonna start what Kelly was supposed to be talking about. Cain and Abel. Then I touched on murder. Then I skipped over the descendants of Cain. That's why he be mad sometimes. Then we did the descendants of Adam.
Well, before we get back there, because after we talked about the descendants of Cain, so Adam and Eve have still been busy populating the earth. That was essentially what God charged them to do anyway. That's probably why he ain't give them no jobs, because they were their job.
Their job was to populate the earth. So I feel like that's mostly Eve on Eve. Like that just sounds real unfair. So her job was to have a whole bunch of children. Adam's job was to keep control of the children and know her.
Having another son. So while like Adam and Eve have a bunch of kids, but we only really hear about 3 of them because those are the only 3 that matter, obviously. Well, this anecdote, which is a warning for the rest of you, and the true star of the show, which is Seth, because he ultimately becomes the lineage that lands us to Noah, as Kelly said. So ain't that how it be when, I don't have a big family, but it's always 1 or 2 that they mention and everybody else is just kind of in the background.
You're Tiffany laughing at you.
You're not laughing at me.
I can only assume Tiffany laughing at you. But yeah, I have a big family and it's easy to get lost in the sauce.
Exactly. Pop them babies out with the pain that I cursed you with. So he cursed her and made her still have all these kids. Like, that's ultimate punishment. You have to have known that Eve had at least 10 kids at minimum.
Nah, I'm pushing a lot more than that, because
I said at least. That's why I said at least.
Yeah, but if she had a lot, she had a lot.
If she had 10, that's enough to keep the population going.
But no, because if it was 10, I think legit Cain would have been like, nah, because Joe, Smo, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike out there, and I don't want them to catch me slipping. And let's say Sarah, all of them out there. He could have named his siblings. He was like, anybody can catch me. Like it's like 50 other people out there. He don't know their names. He just know we related. And I killed my brother, and I know that they know. Yeah. So
because
I think it was a lot. Like I never even thought about that. Poor Eve.
All right. So Adam didn't have their first kids till they was in their hundos. Adam was 130 when he had his first son, who was just like him.
That could be a good or bad thing.
So
we're gonna say good because Seth was cool.
Yeah,
I like that name too. Nice and short and sweet. I like Seth.
So 130, he 130. You gotta think. Most people pop out a kid every 2 years. Let's say they started knowing each other.
That's what I'm saying. Biblically, like 200 of them.
Their 30s, they got to know each other. So you got 100 years every 2 years. That's 50 kids right there. That's if they took a 2-year break to allow her to heal and get the pain.
No, and some of them probably was twins. I'm gonna put her at 200. She had 200 kids. It's just a lot. It's way more than anybody on this current earth can say that they had. I don't know what the number is of the person that had the most kids, but Eve beat you. If you had 20, she had 21. You had 80, she had 81. Like she had a lot of kids.
All she had was a rock and Adam.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh my God. Okay, so I had C-sections. But I had labor pains with my first child. So I had like 2 types of birth. I had the labor type birth and then I had the C-section. I take the C-section any day. But I couldn't imagine like doing that over. And I have 3 kids. Man, Eve, she a trooper. She's strong. That's a strong woman right there. That's just you know what I have to say to her has changed. When I meet her, I'll be like, "You did it for us." Like,
So, my takeaway from the Cain and Abel story was just some of my takeaways were just the humanness of coping with rejection in general versus coping with rejection from God, like how that has to feel 10 times worse than just normal human rejection. And how does that apply to what I need to do to make sure that I'm always giving God my best, like Abel? And
mhm.
then the second takeaway was that even when you mess up, you got to just accept your punishment. And, I will still say that God protected Cain even in his punishment. I mean, clearly he did. He protected him from being killed. He was still punished, but he protected him. Just like instead of killing Adam and Eve, he just kicked them out. It's an example of, I guess, what I would call tough love. Because God don't be wanting to do this, but it's like his hands is tied if he have hands like people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think my well, hold on. Will you finish? I didn't want.
I was gonna go into the Adam's descendant part takeaways, but you can
I
touch on.
think my greatest takeaway is how to handle anger. I think that rejection is something that's real. I didn't learn more about rejection until I talked to my husband, and he showed me this meme. This is so not related, but y'all tell me if y'all saw the meme with the girl, and she was bent over like this. And it's like that's what a guy, like the fearfulest part of the party is like going up to a girl and trying to dance with her, and she like bend over like she don't want to like be with you. It's like rejection, and everybody knows it. I
Why
didn't
should
learn.
not want to
Oh,
dance?
that's, I mean, not bent over like leaning, like more like that.
Like
Not like bent over.
that's
Sorry,
how I was
not bent over.
like,
No,
no,
she
don't.
leaned forward. She leaned forward to like see who, and then she can say yes or no. I don't want to dance with you. I never really had to go through rejection like a guy has. So my husband like really was like, yeah, I was scared to talk to you. Like, don't nobody want to be rejected. So I understand that, but because that hasn't been the feeling that I have had, that wasn't my greatest takeaway. My greatest takeaway was dealing with anger and more so not letting it turn into a sin. Because it seems really easy. Like a sin can be how you speak. Like you just spoke ill will over somebody because you was mad at them in the moment, and you just start cursing or you start talking down to them or belittling them or something like that. That's a sin. So it's like I think that was my greatest takeaway. Like you don't want to be like Cain and go let that one moment destroy a lot of what God has for you, because big things could have been coming Cain's way. He could have had a lot going on. And one thing I wish there was more of, even in this, I say even in this Bible, like my Bible way different than other Bible, but I say even in this Bible because it's a study Bible. But it's not a lot about Abel. I mean, but we do learn that he had like this awesome heart and that he was like um, a great guy. But it was like, dang, but he was like taken away so abruptly. We didn't get to learn more about his character. But I think he played the part that he needed to play. Like he set the scene and the tone for this is how you should be. It doesn't, however, leave room for this is how you should be. And then after you do the right thing, this is what happens. Ta-da, like a good thing. But there's peace knowing that, going forward with life after life isn't a bad thing per se. We just assume somebody should carry out a lot of their years here on earth when that might not even be the jam. But that was my takeaway was check yourself, your anger.
We got a couple of good comments.
I like this one.
Well,
Hey,
yes.
Tiffany.
Jenny said when I was trying to think about what God was doing, he wasn't protecting Cain, but he gave him mercy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I see that one. That's Jenny. Jenny's talking about
So,
nursing.
because Cain deserved some things, but he still kind of made out really good. Like you said, he had a wife, he had kids. Some people that define success. Like, I think it depends on what you define success. Obviously, his heart wasn't in farming, so to him, maybe the aspect of all I want to do is get married and have a kid, and he's successful. But I'm sure that the memory of killing his brother didn't just fade away. Like, he had to live with that for. How old was he when he passed?
And although people couldn't touch him, I'm sure they probably reminded him of it. Like, you one man down. Y'all was close. That was your ace boon coon. Now you don't have him because you made a slight decision in the moment. And you can't bring something back like that. But we can't think that death is the only like ending factor of foreverness. Like, you can say some stuff and you will never be able to redeem yourself from that either. So you can't just think, like, you might be going around, I'm not gonna kill nobody. Oh, but that tongue.
I thought it was interesting that the Bible meant like the birth of Seth. Was it the mom or was it Adam? One of them said, "Oh, God gave me another son to replace the one that Cain killed."
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. First, I want to acknowledge what she just said in saying that envy also plays a factor. And I'm just reiterating that makes me think about what we said before about, like, as a parent, you kind of want to kill that at the root. You want to make sure that kids don't kind of feel like they need to envy each other. So yeah.
Go away.
Huh?
Noise. I said, tell Dallas go away with all that noise.
Oh, Dallas. I got a new mic and it's kind of picking up everything. I gotta learn more about it. Sorry, you guys. Can you hear me?
Y'all
breathe?
Can see her better, can't y'all? Y'all can see her.
Yeah. It was more about, I was like, oh man, I look real snowy and blurry. Now you can see me. I'm still working on this because I feel like I'm still a little. But go ahead, what you were about to say.
Yeah. So, yeah, Eve was like, "Oh yeah, God gave me another son to replace the one that Cain had killed." But also in the note part of the Bible, it says,
what page?
Go to page 15 at the bottom.
Already on 15. Go ahead.
At the last sentence, it says, the descendants of Seth would take Abel's place as the leader of the line of God's faithful people. So right there, it tells you that Abel was supposed to be the head of this lineage. And because Cain wiped that out, I mean, clearly Cain couldn't be the head of the lineage. So he had to go.
Nobody want that. Trouble.
So Adam, Eve, I know you old, but let's get it done again. Like, get it done. Go. So
man,
right,
I cannot.
There was a plan for Abel's life that was cut short. But even when, like, we make plans or we do certain things, even if we don't necessarily accomplish them, God passes the baton to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And the work is never just not done, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. His will gonna be done. He gonna get the will done.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because it's like, dang, like, yo, this is gonna get done no matter what. But on the same part, it's kind of like when you at work and you like, they could fire me today, or if I die today, they're just gonna replace me.
Yep. Expendable.
So it's like because on one hand, it's like, oh, I got purpose, but if I don't meet it, somebody right here.
Next.
Like, I mean,
no, I mean, not in a cold way. It's just, I take it as God's will has to be done. But I mean, that to me, that's a slice of humble pie. Let's be humble. Let's not think you're the only one out here that can accomplish this goal now. The person right under you is waiting for you to slip up and take that.
Yeah, so put me in.
Put me in. But what you don't do is do what Cain did, thinking that that's going to help you get to that next level. Because as you can see, you would end up with that question mark on your forehead. So I think that's It's good notes.
I have something else about. So Kelly quickly went through like the lineage and that led us to Noah, but I want to highlight the length
The
of
ages.
years
The ages.
lived.
I ain't trying to. Okay, tell me this. Some people feel some kind of way when I'm not saying that I want to die young. I do not. But I don't know if 120 looks good on me. Is that a cookie? Got me a Snicker bar. Bam, Snicker bar in the Bible. But yeah, like I don't know if I want to be like 158.
You talking about 120?
I mean, yeah, I'm not. They on some 978. Poor Keenan though. Keenan got the short end. Oh no. That's when he became a father.
He had his first
kid. Then he was 840.
These ages. Adam was 930. Then he died. Seth was 912. Enoch 905. Kenan 910. Mahalo 895. Like
this sound like some highways. It sound like highways. Man, that's a long time to be on the earth. How many moons have you seen? Like that's a long time. But it wasn't the hard earth that we live in now. Like it's not the overwhelming, over sensory taking situation that we have now. It's just blissful. Like it pretty much probably was a little slice of heaven.
But I would think that it is, because you know how they have like these photographs of like, oh, you have 5 generations in a picture. Like I think you 900 years old, you got like 20. Imagine a family reunion, Kelly.
Ain't no family reunion. This is just Sunday. That's what this is. Like, Sunday.
So dope to just look out and just see your children and your children's children, and your children's children just running around, and you like, yo, Eve, we did this. Like,
that sounds amazing. I mean, I feel like I'd have got that feeling at least 20 years before that.
But the flip side of that is that I think that we feel, well, in general, I think Americans have like this sense of like rush and like time lapse. But if we lived in a time where, or a period where time was more of just a space, we weren't defined by time, I think we will enjoy it more. Like, you look at every day, oh, I have to wake up, I have to go to work.
Yeah, we definitely, and we push time too. You're 10 years, you're like 7, talking about can't wait to be 10. You're 10, can't wait to be 13. 13, can't wait to be 16. Then 18, 21, 25. Then you start trying to go backwards until you get to 40. Then you excited about 50. So, and then you're like, I want to retire. So that's how I was feeling like, I don't know. And then God was with them, like, with them in a different way than he's with us. Like, I mean, like the voice with them. As far as like the way that we interpret people talking to God in the Bible, you assume that they can actually hear the voice, not in their heart, but out loud. I wonder, has anybody heard God at the same time? Like 2 individuals experience him together? I haven't read that, but maybe. But I do want to talk about Jenny's question. You see Jenny's question? Interesting. I'm about to pull it up. So Jenny is going further into the Bible and skipping over a couple chapters. And she is going into the mark of the beast, which is the mark that is something that is signifying the end times, and which that is a choice that a person has to make in order to claim their spot to stay here versus kind of say they're on God's team type of thing. It's what you don't want. I don't know if that was like a foreshadowing of that particular mark, because this mark was from God. I don't remember who if the mark, I mean, because I haven't really dissected it enough, but I remember watching the movie when I was a kid, and it was handed down by the government. It wasn't really, something that someone was born with or anything that God kind of touched them with. It was something like, hey, if you want to survive here on earth after the rapture, you got to take this mark of the beast. Some people honestly feel like it's a barcode that we already have to live by. Visa logo, like it's a lot of different things that people feel like it's a mark of the beast. The 666s, which is weird. I can share this with y'all. I was on my Instagram and I was like, oh no, I got 666 posts. Should I post today? And my husband was like, Kelly, it's okay. Like that number is okay. I was like, let me see if there's a 666 page in my Bible. So, and then a meme came out and was like, people be like really tripping over that number. Like they need to go to church that day if something like that is going down. Like they don't want no parts in that number. So some people feel like that number is a mark of the beast, but I really don't know. I would say no, just because of the correlation of God giving Cain that mark and specifically saying what that mark was for, to keep other people away from him, to protect him so that he can really live out and learn from his lesson. I think the mark of the beast is totally different, but still a mark. What say you, Morgan?
I'm not familiar with the mark of the beast at all, but it sounds like something you don't even want.
I mean, you don't want either one of them. You don't want God to touch you with the question mark, and you don't want whatever to come down.
It is not a question mark.
All right, stamp, splatter.
It's a Harry Potter zigzag.
I said it could have been a exclamation mark also. All right, let's see. Hold on. She has other
I was reading her other comment. Oh, not that one. The next one.
Oh, hold on. I didn't read this one. This one you talk about Cain's mark. It made me think that probably not related at all. See, people be tripping on that 666.
That's more superstition in old wives though. It's like, oh,
I mean, but that number is legit in the Bible. That's like a number that is out there that people are like, nah, I don't want no parts in that. It is. I mean, we gonna get there. I don't know when we're gonna get the revelation. But when we get there, by that time we will have a good sound knowledge. But I kind of want to research it a little bit. That book I shy away from it a little bit. It's an intimidating book. It's a lot of analogies in there. Some stuff is really not what it seems. Some stuff is like it takes the meaning of a specific place, but you're gonna call it a goat head. So it's a lot of, you got to interpret it the way that you got to receive it, the way the Holy Spirit gives it to you. That book is something that I think you need to read with a clear mind and heart.
I was about to say that 666 ain't nothing but a 999 upside down.
Who said that? Oh, I can get with 999.
Did you write that number instead of 666 because you ain't want to write 666?
No, no, I ain't never write it like that. I wish I had the meme, y'all. It was hilarious. I was cracking up because I had just said I'm about to post today. So I don't want that on my Instagram. But you should see me, like when I have 666 likes, 666 followers, all of that. I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Super close.
Somebody,
I'm legit at 650, like 8 or 9, and I was like,
call me 666, and I'm gonna like it immediately. I'm on it.
Not likes, followers. So I was like, oh, I'll
unfollow you.
I'm gonna have somebody unfollow me.
I'll be that. That's what a friend does. A friend keeps you from the mark of the beast. That's what she does.
Because somebody then follows me unless you do it right. Like I don't check.
I'm on it.
How you gonna know I'm in 666? How you gonna know?
When you get there, you call me. I'm gonna unfollow you, and then you call me when you get back with 666, and then I'm gonna follow you back, and you're gonna be at 667 immediately, unless Instagram playing games.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not touching that crazy number.
See, I told you, that
Jenny, you just started something. Everybody's scared now. No, we should not fear. We are children of the Lord.
yeah.
That number is just a number.
However, y'all remember what was the movie with the girl? Is it called Americas? Her daughter was named America. What is her?
I know there's an actress named America, the girl who played Ugly
No,
Betty.
not America Ferrera. What was the actress name? Anyway, she went to Walmart and her fives were always her bad numbers. So she went to Walmart and I think her change back was $5.59. She ran out into the parking lot and her baby father left her at the Walmart 9 months pregnant. So she legit believed that fives were like her unlucky number. She was like her 5th birthday. Her mama left her. Like everything that bad always happens to her when she had fives. So fives and then running out and seeing her baby father left her and threw her flip flops out the window. And so they was in the parking space.
He wasn't no good anyway.
He wasn't no good. He ended up getting his though. He got ran over by a train.
That's too much.
It's gonna blow me.
I don't know. It reminds me of the movie with Jim Carrey, though, the number 23. That was crazy. But we getting off topic, totally off topic.
I mean, he was talking about
Jenny. No, I think that was a good mention, though.
Power, it comes. I feel like you attract things. So if you honestly believe something, justify it.
Forever, I woke up or I happened to look at the clock at 9:11 for a long time. I was like, of all the time in the world, how you catch it in the AM and the PM? Like I legit was like, it's the 9 o'clock hour. I'm not passing any clocks. I'm not looking at the time. And as soon as I be like, let me see what time it is. It's 9:11. And I was like, wow, why does that keep happening to me? It just doesn't make sense. If it landed on 3:16, I'd be happy. But yeah, that's in there. I definitely will look more into it, but I don't think it's related, Jenny. But thanks for bringing it up. We had some good convo just now off of that, though. I hope to learn a lot more about a lot of different things. I feel like the more you know, the more you can, better prepare yourself for life and what's coming your way when ignorance will get you. So you sitting there thinking that's cool. Because I remember having a Halloween party at school, in high school, and this girl had that tattooed on her neck. And I was not in church like that, but I know the Holy Spirit told me that was wrong. And I was like, ooh, I don't think you should have did that. But it was all fun and games to her. I don't play with stuff like that. That's not my thing. Let me see. Oh, now we bringing up a whole bunch of superstition. She's not bothered by Friday the 13th. 13 is a weird number anyway.
Natalie Portman, that's her name. That's her name. What is the movie? I feel like it said something about Americas in it.
She said her mind works in strange ways. Don't we all move it? Man, we got phones. Let's see about Natalie Portman. Are you looking it up? I can see you Googling. You got that Google look on your face.
Yeah, that's her home. Yeah. I want to say, is it Home Where the Heart Is or something like that?
I thought you was talking about the movie where the girl had the baby in the Walmart, but
she did have the baby in the Walmart.
Oh, I saw that movie.
What's it called?
I don't do that. I don't know. Name that movie. Who can name the movie first in the comments? This don't have nothing to do with the Bible. Look at us. Let's see. Natalie Portman. Walmart. Home is what how do you not get that name title to a movie? Home is where the heart is. Look at that. Home is where the heart is. Go ahead, faithful planner. Give her a cookie. Cookies in Christ. If we had cookies. Oh, that looked just like our little logo. Did y'all see? I wonder, do y'all see our logo? It's in there. Thank you, faithful planner. Do I know who Faithful Planner is? How come y'all got these miscellaneous names on here?
That's their YouTube names.
I know. Jenny got her whole government name as her YouTube name. Go ahead, Jenny. All right. Well, I think that's all. I don't have any more notes. Hold on. Let me make sure. You know, I'll be typing my stuff up. Look at you. That's what you get for not sharing.
But I caught it.
It was meant to be. Let me see. Oh no, my next notes are about Noah. But we're gonna stop here.
So
I think we should because it's like 8:30. But so we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do next. So right after they go into Adam's descendants, we get to Noah. And I explain how we got to Noah. And when Noah was 500, that's when he had his 3 sons, which I still cannot say his baby boy's name. We got Shem, we got Ham, and we have Japheth.
You know,
yeah, that's what we're gonna call him.
Sam.
That's what we're gonna call him. It's a lot going on with it. You would think it'd be easier since it's so short, but yeah, this story is wild. It's a lot of faith. It's a lot of non-faith. It's a lot of shenanigans. It's a lot of death. It's a lot going on. So we're gonna read that next, and that's gonna be, if you have our Bible, we are on page 17. It's Genesis 6:1. Should we stop at conclusion of Genesis story 10:32? Before the Tower of Babel?
Scattering people?
Yeah.
That's
so fine. 23. All right. So let me put that up on the board. Let's see. So we have Genesis 6:1. So this is homework. Y'all don't know we be giving out homework, huh? Don't try to log off now.
But if y'all come prepared, y'all can give more commentary as we're going through thoughts that you had or any notes that you had while you were reading. But you're not required. You can just come and listen to us give banter as you see. This is what we do. But next month I will be leading. So, you know, I like the season to taste.
I'm gonna try not to take that as a jab. Let me see. Oh, that's Angel. Hey, Angel. Oh, and this side. Oh, Aisha. I know she probably sick of that. Probably everybody busts out with that song when they say her name. All right. So everybody got, what happened to it? Oh, it goes away when I start showing y'all's names, y'all's stuff. So that's the homework, as in the just pre-read what's going down in the Bible, so that when we show up next time, you can have, you know, the questions that you had that have us comment on them, like, oh, you know, I never thought about that. Like Jenny, she had her statement, and that kind of spinned into a good conversation. So if you have, you know, your thoughts, you can put them in there. For those listening to the YouTube video after the fact, this is an extension of my Patreon. So Print Pray Slay has a Patreon page in which this is one of the perks, is being live with us. So it's cool to look back and, you know, watch the video after the fact. But if you want your name and everything to pop up and for us to comment on, you know, what your thoughts are, and you be like involved in our study, then join the Patreon page. So I don't know if we have any other announcements. I can tell y'all this though. I got a big box to my right. It looked like I just pointed to my left. But really, it's to my right, from a Happy Planner. And I'm excited. So I'm about to do an unboxing video tomorrow because it's kind of late. It's 8:30. So hopefully y'all tune in for my unboxing. I am so hoping there are some black metal discs in there, y'all. I hope Happy Planner loved me enough like that. But if they didn't, I'm still grateful. But I'm just saying, I'm hoping some black discs was in it. Oh, Dallas went to sleep. He just woke up. All right, so that's all. That's all I got. You got anything more? I think I'm gonna show up with some cookies. You know, I'm not gonna let these kids hold me back from portraying what the idea of us showing up here, cookies and Christ. I'm gonna come with cookies next time. Maurice bought them for me, like on Monday. It's only Wednesday. The whole joint is gone. Oh, and mention of joint. Did you get my text message?
I did. That ain't gonna help. I was trying to come out with we can talk offline, but I was trying to come out with a product line specifically paying homage to our area.
Maybe name them after some cities, some Largo, some Bowie, some Upper Marlboro.
What do each of them cities smell like? Please tell me.
You don't want to know. Garbage. Except for Upper Marlboro. I can vouch for that. Smell like dandelions.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody have any question? Oh, yes. Let's put that up there. Yes. Oh, you got Happy Mail too? Y'all need to start doing some videos. I want to see the Happy Mail or post it on Instagram or something. So I can see, I like to see how other people be happy about their Happy Mail. If you have any questions, let us know right now. We're dwindling down. We're supposed to be off. It's supposed to be an hour. We always give y'all more time. It's 8:31 over here. Oh, let's see what this message says.
Sound like cigarettes.
What sound like cigarettes? Back this sound like cigarettes?
Oh, maybe
talking.
Maybe they thought when I say my product line. I don't. No.
Oh no. I don't support that, Morgan. I don't support that.
I don't know. My lungs are good.
I mean, to each his own. I do have a Moscato every now and then.
Anywho.
All right. Jenny is saying adios. She says wrap that up. All right. So we'll talk to you guys. We don't have a formal way of leaving. We just be like, bye, people. Morgan, hit him with the bye, people.